Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, a big rumor killer on a deranged former WWE star.
A backstage update on Nick Aldis signing with WWE.
Got a report that WWE have discussed a new role for Mickie James.
And an ex-WWE star says she's retired from wrestling. I'm Adam Wilborn.
Your voice just collapsed. That was cool.
It's cold out there. This is the news.
All right. Well, let's talk about Dirty Bertie, shall we?
Boy.
Alberto Del Rio. It's his once every 6 month claim that he's going back to WWE. He does this all the time. You know what it is, but it's quite funny this time because I got a really amusing quote. Dave Meltzer reported in the Wrestling Observer last week. Dave didn't report that he was going back, which I've seen a lot of people say because people can't interpret words. I can't say them, apparently. But Dave reported in the Observer last week that Del Rio had a match on the 5th of October, and afterwards he said, I was going to go back to WWE until Vince resigned.
Wow.
Fightful Select have obviously looked into this, and shockingly, no, he wasn't.
This is brilliant from Sean Ross Sapp.
They got a quote here from a WWE higher-up who said, no effing chance. The uncensored.
They literally said, screenshot this message and put it out.
Yeah, absolutely quality. No effing chance. He's going to WWE. So you know the drill. You know the drill with this guy. He does this all the time. I saw one account over the weekend tweeted, would you like to see Del Rio back in WWE? And I just quote tweeted it with the gif of, a screenshot of Antonio Inoki saying F off. Because no, of course not. Obviously, he's been subjected to some pretty serious allegations over the years. He was cleared of charges of aggravated kidnapping and sexual assault in December 2021. There have obviously been allegations involving his former partner Paige Saraya in AEW. He literally no-showed an Impact / Lucha Underground event in 2018. He's not worth the hassle. No. He's not a good enough wrestler. On top of that, this guy. Just come on,
Yeah, look, we are constantly talking day in and day out about whether or not CM Punk is worth all the hassle for WWE to bring him back and what have you. ADR's not.
No.
It's not going to happen.
We call him Dirty Bertie as a joke, but it's kind of an appropriate nickname. He's a bad dude.
The only thing worse than constantly announcing that you're going back to WWE, or you were just about to if things hadn't changed around there, is, I don't know, posting a poll on where fans think you should go next and they all vote and you should retire.
Who would do that? What kind of idiot would do that?
Let us know in the comments. And let us know your thoughts on all the stories in the comment section.
Let us know if you want Del Rio back in WWE.
I'll tell you who is going to WWE. Well,
maybe AEW should sign him. Gee whiz.
I say going to WWE. He's there. Nick Aldis. Obviously, he was unveiled as the new SmackDown general manager on Friday night. Postman Pierce, Adam Pearce, is now just going to be general manager for Monday Night Raw. But Fightful Select came through the report confirming all these details. He had been working for WWE since the summer, but doing production work on a trial basis. But now he is full-time, as I said, making his televised debut on Friday night. He even said to Dominic Mysterio, who's out there to be a knobhead during all this, I'm a big fan of your dad, which I thought was
I thought that was a good dad insult.
Yeah, exactly. Whether or not he's going to continue doing WWE producer stuff remains to be seen, but Fightful sources do say that he seems to be easy to work with backstage, and he is keen to make the most of this opportunity, eager to work in every role the promotion has handed him. I think it's a nice setup for everyone, and I agree with, was it Ibu you were telling me, who said potentially long-term he could be taking off a tie and kicking someone's ass.
Yeah. I think that would probably be quite an effective way to debut him as a wrestler, as opposed to just going, hey, it's Nick Aldis, guys.
Yeah, look at the reaction he got when he was unveiled as the GM. I think they need to introduce him to the WWE.
People don't know him. The audience doesn't know him because he's portrayed the bulk of his career in the NWA and Impact, and in Impact he was Magnus. Completely different name.
If you brought Tyrus back into WWE, fans wouldn't be like, Jesus Christ, isn't that guy who had the NWA World title for ages? They'd be like, oh, the Funkasaurus is back.
Yeah, exactly. Remember when they brought Albert back as Tensai and he got
amazing
Albert chance.
What are they thinking?
Nah, it's really, really silly. Yeah, it's interesting to me that Nick Aldis is not in an in-ring role. He's only 37, some 36, 37. 37, something like that. Yeah, just like me tomorrow, 36. Day off. Hello. Yeah, good for him. I'm glad because like that split from the NWA was pretty publicly rough.
Yeah. And he tried his best with that bloody company.
Yeah, he tried his best with Billy Corgan's band of morons.
And only so many times you can face Trevor Murdoch in 2020, whatever it was.
Yeah, I don't think Trevor Murdoch's a moron, by the way.
No.
But Tyrus, yeah.
Agreed.
So, you know, and it was kind of a shame in a lot of ways because he was the face of that company for ages. He was the guy who lifted it up with the long World Heavyweight title run. He obviously had the famous match with Cody, All In.
Yeah.
But then he held the belt again for like 3 years or something crazy. You watched him on Power in the early days and he was like holding the belt, standing there looking like the biggest star in this room.
Very old school, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he put a lot of graft into that company and ultimately it kind of spat him out in the end. He asked for his release, disagreeing with the direction and stuff. He's like objectively landed on his feet here.
Mm-hmm.
So
tell you who else has as well, by the way, just a quick note to them. Grizzled Young Veterans, congratulations to them. Breaking free, love that video. Then can't wait to see what they do next.
They are on the loose. The goose is loose about this hoose, and so is Mickie James. Doesn't rhyme. Interestingly, right, WrestleVotes put out a wee report before SmackDown. I'll read it to you. It's fun. Rumours of Nick Aldis debuting tonight on SmackDown as a new GM. Those came true, obviously. I think PW Insider reported that first. Sources state within the last month that there were discussions and ideas thrown around to see if Aldis' wife, Mickie James, would be interested in such a role as co-GMs.
Ooh.
This doesn't look to be happening, though. Yeah, so like, I don't know if that means like her and Aldis would have shared a GM role, or if maybe Mickie would have been the Raw GM and Aldis would have been the SmackDown GM. I'm not sure. Then Postman Pierce would have had to go back to delivering letters with his black and white cap.
Yeah, maybe they could have sacked him and given him all of his stuff in a black bin bag. You know, just an idea. We don't forget WWE.
Yeah.
Arseholes. Mickie James is great. She's better than that.
Yeah.
He's such a prick to her. Hardcore country.
Her last appearance for the company was the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Where she had the Knockouts Championship and stuff. It was like a really unprecedented modern event. It was like, oh, cool. Mickie James's Impact version. Sick. Obviously, she's a WWE legend in and of, like, itself, like, outside of what she's done anywhere else.
Yeah.
Impact legend as well. She's a very decorated wrestler. Maybe she'll end up back there someday. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing her back in WWE. I'd like to see her back in WWE ring, to be honest. I thought she was great in the Rumble. I wouldn't like to see her do the split GMs thing, just because I have a feeling that would split them apart. You know, when they used to have that tradition of like, you're in a relationship, go on different shows and completely different schedules.
Yeah, it would just be weird, that, wouldn't it?
But I'm sure they'd make it work. They're a nice couple. I think I was interviewing Nick Aldis once, or Mickie James, the other way round. And the other one was just in the background, just like taking care of the kids.
Oh, fair play.
It was really nice, and they were just like, "Oh, sorry about that."
Yeah, you can relate.
Yeah.
Was it Postman Pat who had the black and white cap?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got confused between Fireman Sam for a second.
No,
sorry,
he's always on the scene. Which is suspicious, to be honest. I think he's starting the fights.
Yes, that's the cat. Well, gee, like Larry.
Yeah. Right.
Can't trust these animals.
Tell you can trust Ronda Rousey.
Whoa, I don't know about that
Stumbled
one.
into that one there.
Yeah, no, hell no. Do not trust.
She posted pictures on her Instagram page over the weekend and seemingly confirmed she's basically done with wrestling. Lovely family stuff on Instagram. She put a caption underneath it from the Disney movie Elemental. My dear Watson. I don't know why I said it like that. Sorry, I couldn't hear you through my retirement. Obviously, some people were speculating whether or not that was MMA related or WWE related or just basically all of the above. But yeah, I think most people thought after that match at SummerSlam, the MMA thing with Shayna Baszler, that's kind of her done. She's had 2 runs with the company. She might come back and have a big one-off match, but I wouldn't hold your breath.
No, I've got the impression that she was kind of done with it for a while, to be honest. She's clearly, like, just moved beyond this life, I guess, like she did with MMA. Although, obviously, the end of her UFC career was a little bit different. First run was great.
Oh, one of the best rookie runs ever.
Second run wasn't without its high points. The Raquel match was good, for example, but, you know, not quite the same. She always had a bit of a fractured relationship with the fans. I always got the impression that when she was speaking in interviews and stuff about like F these fans and stuff, the famous quotes, that there was quite a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
Obviously wrestlers are always working, and look, she's probably set for life financially and stuff.
Yeah.
And like she started a family with Travis Brown.
I'm so happy for them with that, because that was the big plan, wasn't it? So.
Yeah, life goes on.
And if you're set for life financially, why not splash some money out on the What Culture podcast live show? The Dadley Boys on tour Tuesday, November 21st? Yeah, I thought it was. It goes down. Tickets are on sale right now. WhatCulture.com/tickets. There's even a deal where if you spend a little bit more, you get a special one-off t-shirt.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Do join us for that one.
Got to get a yield together, man. He's sorting out the dispatch for these tickets.
Speaking of MMA fighters over the weekend, by the way, Andy, was tweeting about the Logan Paul, Dylan Dennis, KSI getting robbed against Tommy Fury fight. Chris Cyborg slid back in and threatened me again, so
Okay.
that's still going on, everyone. I was just joking about going, if Dylan Dennis gets paid for that fight, I'm going to fight Simon Miller, then just do a spinneroonie and leave. She went, good choice of opponent. I was like, oh, leave me alone.
She's going to kill you someday.
Yeah, terrified of getting bumped into each other at another show. It's been like 4 years.
She's still coming for you.
She's still coming up for me.
Oh, man. Is there a worse guy alive than Dylan Dennis? Oh, of course there is.
Yeah.
Probably Logan Paul, to be honest.
No, Logan Paul's goated. He called out Rey Mysterio. You like him again now. Jake Paul. There we go. Right. Twitter questions at What Culture WWE. Of course, you want to get in touch with us. First question today comes from Michael LaValle III. Mike sent this to Andrew Pollard, who's brilliant news on the weekend, but Andrew didn't have a chance to answer it, so I thought I'd answer it now. Plus, he sent a picture of his fish. So
we love fish.
Had a great old time. Should we get some office fish?
Let's get some fish.
So he says, I'm normally sleeping when you post these, unfortunately. Here's a picture of my kids, and my question is... That's the
my
fish.
kids?
That's the fish. My question to you is, do you feel the next lineup for Roman is LA Crown Jewel and AJ at the Chamber?
Yeah, what's his name?
LA
Yeah, I think he is the next challenger. Yeah. That was made quite clear on SmackDown this week.
Love that.
It was a very Triple H episode of SmackDown where it was like, here's two people you want to see fight, they're going to fight. That's kind of like how he books a lot of these things.
I'm so basic. Just sorry, I interrupted there.
You will be.
The shot of Roman in LA Knight sunglasses. I was like, there you go. There's all my money.
Here's my cash.
Yeah.
I personally, because the thing is, I want to watch it. I'm not going to watch it if it's on the Saudi Arabia card unless I have to for my job. I'll read the results online because sports washing is bad. But yeah, it seems to be next. They're probably maybe not going to do a world title match at Survivor Series, so it would stand to reason that it would be at Crown Jewel. As far as AJ in the Chamber goes, I think it'd be nice to see them reheat AJ to that level,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either that or a big Australian star, toadfish or something. It's just Roman Reigns. I did a big celebrity match with
Bishop,
Logan.
what up?
Dr. Carl Kennedy. Make it happen.
Hey man, leave Carl Kennedy alone. He's got a band, They played Aberdeen once. I didn't go.
Why would you?
Yeah, it was in the same year that Neil Buchanan from Art Attack's band played.
What a legend.
He's an Iron Maiden guy.
Tell you what, we've gone very niche recently.
We
talked about that. Me and Hamflett were talking about Robot Wars on the podcast on Friday. What Culture Wrestling podcast?
Hey, they have Robot Wars in America too.
Oh, do they have Hypnodisc though?
I don't think
do
so.
they have Deotor, the one who gets set on fire, or Matilda with a chainsaw out of her arse?
Roadblock, the best.
Yes.
The goat. It's just a little wedge. You can't beat it. How'd you beat a wedge?
My favourite thing, Wheelie Big Cheese, obviously. Top boy.
What was the one that had like pink fur and it got
Deotor.
Set, that's the one.
Yeah, we were
got
talking
set
about
on fire.
Why have you made out of fur? There's fire everywhere.
For the crack.
We should make a robot.
We can make one out of this stuff.
Yeah.
The eel you're breathing fire. Stick a nail under its mouth. Anyway, questions.
Next question comes from Brian George. Morning, guys. Morning, Brian.
Hello, Brian.
Do you think that Raw and SmackDown with Raw and SmackDown having their own GMs, do you think NXT will be next? Perhaps William Regal when he's legally allowed to appear on WWE TV. If not him, who might it be? Of course, he went back to WWE to work with his son, which is why he's been hanging out on the main roster with Triple H the entire time.
Yeah, I could see it being William Regal. I could also see it being Booker T if they were to move him off commentary. Although, why would you do that? His bizarre commentary is just great. He doesn't know anyone anyone. He's been there months. He still doesn't know anyone.
Every single time he's just signing for like a DoorDash delivery.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
You want to book a match? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's my Outback Steakhouse order or whatever. What's another American restaurant? Steak Shack. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Shake Shack, not Steak Shack.
I'd like to go to that place though.
Me too. Put a steak in a bun. I hope not. Why are we going back to this era of authority figures?
And it's been a whole 2 years.
This is it. This has been a really fun aspect of this era of WWE. It's like we've got rid of the overbearing authority figures. Yes, we've had Adam Pearce, but he barely does anything. He shows up once or twice a show and goes, "Yeah, that's a match." He's not occupying stories and stuff. Maybe this will be different. Maybe they'll find a way of doing it without overtaking actual wrestlers, but I'm dubious.
Yeah, I think keep Adam Pearce doing the exact role that he's been doing across both shows, but just on Monday Night Raw. Very much sort of Jack Tunney in the background, only making decisions, or you're just yelling at people because they keep fighting backstage. You go out there and sort it out in the ring. And I think Nick Aldis, hopefully, in a similar vein, just only coming out when required. Doesn't need to open the show and read out a list of things that's going to happen. But it's, I think you're right, a slow burn to bringing him back to wrestle because you're introducing him, so you give him 6 months, 12 months, whatever it may be, to establish himself, and then some bloody heel comes along and makes him go, "I'm going to take it off and sort you out." But yeah, we don't need authority figures that for a long, long time. Well, aside from the way that I think Postman Pearce has been nailing it, so more of that sort of thing.
He's fine.
In terms of an NXT GM, Mr. Blobby, please. Final question comes from Mark Smith. He always comes through right. If you want to know how to get a question asked on the news, look at the time that Mark Smith sends a question and look at the quality. It's just heavy hit after heavy hit with Mark Smith, who says, "Morning Legends, with which AEW wrestler who hasn't won a world title will win a world title in WWE before they do in AEW and vice versa?"
Jade, I think, is the obvious one.
Oh, yeah.
Because the TBS title, you wouldn't really call that a world title.
No.
You would call the women's world title because it has the word world in it.
There's a clue.
Yeah, that gives it away. Yeah, I think Jade will be champion in WWE next year. I don't think it'll take long at all. Who have you got going the other way?
In terms of, I was going to say Wardlow was going to be my pick for the world title as well. Jade, I didn't even think about. Wishful thinking, Chad Gable.
Going to AEW,
becoming world champion. And world champion. I just feel like I'm sure they'll do stuff there. He might be the one to win the IC title from Gunther. I don't think he's ever going to be pushed to that level.
I think he's probably quite fine in WWE. I think he's quite happy.
Who else could go?
I don't know because AEW is so chaotic.
They give everyone a go with the world title in WWE, really, don't they? Especially because they've had world heavyweight championships and what have you.
What about someone who's in AEW right now who was in WWE?
Ooh.
Like Malachi Black or something like that.
That's a shout.
That'd be a shout. Miro, maybe?
If you don't, does the NXT world title count as a world title?
Nah.
Who else have they got? I was going to say Keith Lee, but he won the NXT. Keith Lee, maybe.
Yeah, do you see what he did to our boy on Collision?
Rude. Popped my tits off when I saw that. I was like, oh, come on, Keith Lee squash match. I haven't seen him on telly for 6. I don't watch Rampage. Who does?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, God, where's he been? Thank God he's here to do the Shane Taylor stuff. I'm excited to see Keith Lee back in the ring, but it's been fucking ages. Who are they feeding to him? Oh, yeah, that's our boy. I was like, oh, my God, Keith Lee's going to lose. Great.
They did that. They jobbed out 2 of the best boys this week. Bronson as well.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Boulder. And, all that.
Great.
Yeah, it's fun. Anyway.
And Christian Cage won clean in the main event.
He did. He's never cheated in his life, and you've never clicked so fast in your life as you have on this video right now. Goodbye. Switchblade. Yep. He's cardboard now.